What's up, YouTube? For today's video, with a full Jungle Book Pokemon team. Musical Boy, this one is for you. So we got a team based around the Pokemon and the characters of Jungle Book, and we come up with a pretty good team here. I made a couple of slight little changes to some of the Pokemon available, but I was actually pretty happy with the result. Have you seen Jungle Book before? Let me know in the comment section of the video. If you want your own custom theme team or Pokemon sweep, you can check it out at patreon.com/PIMPNITE, tier 2 and above. Links in the description of the video. Let's get into both of today's battles. Now, first battle is against the Scotsman, and we did have quite a few people say they did like the non-Pokemon teams as well, so I can mix them, maybe throw one in them a week. So here you go, people. If you do like them, show some support there. Drop a like and a comment on the video, and let's get into it. So we got a Cramorant lead here versus the Tyrogue. Now, I thought Tyrogue at Orb Mage Shot will work very good as Mowgli, and we got a Fake Out, High Jump Kick, Bullet Punch, and Mach Punch set. This is also a Guts user, so I gave it the Flame Orb, and I gave it the EV spread as Max Health and Max Attack Adamant Nature. It's not very fast, so that's why I gave it Bulk instead of Speed, if you were wondering. Unfortunately, it's going to get countered there by Queenly Majesty Serena swapping in, and now it's going to go for a bounce when I went for High Jump Kick. You wouldn't read about it, so unfortunately, I'm going to go for High Jump Kick, and there goes half my health straight away. So not the greatest and luckiest start to this battle, but it is what it is, people. So now I was thinking, should I swap out? Like, yeah, I'll leave it for a little bit later on. I'll swap something in that I know that can take the bounce. So we're going to go into Incineroar, which is going to be as Shia Khan. I think that's how you say it. And we got the bounce covered in here. It doesn't do a lot of damage. Now, this is going to be a choice spec set. I've got Max Health and Max Special Attack, Modest Nature. We got Blast Burn, Scorching Sands, Focus Miss, and Dank Pulse. I've also got the ability Intimidate and the item as choice specs. So Serena's going to be swapping out, and in comes the Politoed. Now, I think we may have some sort of theme team across the other side of the field too, so if you can guess what it is, leave it below in the comment section too. So go for Blast Bird in the rain. I mean, it was pretty good damage when you think about it. So now we got the Politoed going for Encore on my recharge. It's like, okay, that's fine. Well, it's not like I was going to, stay into this match up anyway. So now they're going to swap their Politoed out, and they're going to bring in the Cramorant again. It's like, okay, well, I swapped there too, so it was a double swap, So bye-bye Incineroar, and we're going to go into Oranguru, which is going to be King Louie, which I thought was quite a good matchup there. So we got a pretty cool set here. We got Trick Room, we got Psychic Terrain, Focus Blast, and Terrain Pulse. What I wanted to do here is I wanted to make use of Psychic Terrain and Terrain Pulse. So Terrain Pulse is a normal type move, and under obviously different terrains, it turns into different type moves. Under a Psychic Terrain, it turns into a Psychic type move, which goes from 50 base power to 100 base power. So it hits pretty hard. Also, I'm going to be putting the Trick Room up too, because Oranguru is a very slow Pokemon, and it definitely works. I've got the item as Citrus Berry to allow me to set up a couple of things, and I've got the ability Inner Focus too. Max Health and Max Special Attack, Quiet Nature. So just living Cramorant's onslaught there. It's got a little fishy in its mouth. Amazing Pokemon. No bias or anything like that. And the rain is going to stop. So I can go for a Terrain Pulse here. It'll be pretty powerful now with Oranguru's Max Special Attack. But Cramorant still managed to live it pretty well there. And now it's going to fire a fish at me. And that's going to drop my defense by 1 stage. But I still managed to live, which is really, really good. Now Cramorant is going to go for a Surf here. And that is going to be the end of Oranguru. It was a pretty fun set. The only thing about it is it does take, a fair bit of stuff to actually set that up. So maybe it could work better with some other support. Maybe there's already a Psychic Terrain on the field. All right, we're going to bring in the Incineroar here, and Cramorant's also got a Pikachu in its mouth, which is always fun. Now what it's going to do is go for Endure. So I actually, I think when Cramorant very first came out, I had it like an idea instantly with a set to use Gold Missile and Endure and Rocky Helmet and all that sort of stuff at the same time. And this is sort of like similar things. So it's going to be using Endure and firing the Pikachu at me, and obviously when you get hit by that, you get paralyzed too. So it's going to have a berry here, which is going to be the Salig Berry. Unfortunately for the Cramorant, the Trick Room is still up, and I'm going to be able to take it out there. But I'm glad I didn't get paralyzed that turn. It would have been very, very bad. So bye-bye Cramorant. I can't say I missed you in that matchup at least. Next Pokemon is not that. I almost said us. And we got the Blaziken coming out here, and I'm going to be swapping that out. So we're going to go into Car, or K. Yeah, Car. I think it's Car, but not not like the car you drive, the other sort of car, the snake car. So this is an interesting set. We've got high horsepower, Stone Miss, Body Press, and Dragon Rush. I've got the ability Shed Skin as well, and I've got the item as Blunder Policy. So that's going to boost my speed. I've got max speed and max attack Adamant Nature. So if I did, for example, miss Stone Mist, which happens a lot, and also Dragon Rush, they're both quite inaccurate moves, I get a boost in my speed by 2, so I can be very, very quick and hit pretty hard. So Blaziken's going to go for a boosting move there. I'm going to go for the high horsepower, and of course, it has got the Focus Sash, so it's going to be living on 1 health. So Blaziken, I'd say, is going to be hitting me pretty hard here with some sort of fire type move. So it's going to get another speed boost. I think that's about 2 or 3. Here comes Flamethrower on Sandaconda, and that drops me a 1 shot. I was like, man, this is pretty scary. So bye-bye Sandaconda. Now it's going to get another speed boost, but I was like, wait, I've got my Tyrogue. So what I can do there is swap it in and then go for the fake out and take it out. Unfortunately, Blaziken is going to swap out, and you know who's going to come in here. It's going to be Serena. Now, I did think they may do that, and I almost went for high jump kick. I wish I did now, but let's be real, it probably would have missed anyway. Speaking of which, we got this Serena going for a drop kick this time. I was a little bit worried about going for high jump kick because I knew that I'd bounce, and that is going to be the end of Tyrogue. Unfortunately, I couldn't have gone bullet punch there either, so I was stuck in a rock and a hard place. Unfortunately, the main character of the show is now fainted, people. I'm sorry about that. So bringing in the Incineroar right now, I'm going to go for the Blast Burn, and now the Serena is going to spring up in the air using bounce. So that's the best attack it pretty much has to do against me. So Blast Burn's going to miss, as we know. Here comes the bounce in. Now Incineroar is built very bulky here, and that's not going to do any damage at all. Plus I've got Intimidate going, so I'm going to be able to take a lot of bounces unless I get pretty unlucky getting paralyzed and stuff like that, which is, that's always on the table. So here, Blast Burn's going to miss again, of course. The only time I actually get it is when, Serena is in the air. Here comes bounce number 2 here. I can only take 2 more of them and finally get the Blast Burn off, and that is going to be the end of Serena. Thank goodness. It took ages to get rid of that, nearly the whole battle. So that's 2 Pokemon down. I'm trying to claw my way back into this battle. And next Pokemon to come at it is going to be Haxorus. So Haxorus is going to go for a Laser Focus. Now, Laser Focus is going to grant it 100% crit the next turn. I'm on recharge here, and now it's going to go for the Dual Chop. That is the end of Incineroar with a crit, so bye-bye. With Haxorus' big attack, I reckon you would have taken him out anyway, even without the crit. But I guess they had spare time to use that, so why not? Next Pokemon I'm going to bring in is going to be Persian as Bugiria. I think that's how you say it. And we've got Silk Scarf as the item. I've got Fur Coat as the ability, Swagger, Psych Up, Last Resort, and Hypnosis. I've got Max Speed, Jolly Nature, and I've also got Max Attack. What I wanted to do with this set was to give Swagger to the opponent and then use Psych Up. So I could Psych Up the Swagger boost, giving myself a +2 in attack. And then I could go for Hypnosis as well, before I do that, and then go for Last Resort. I thought it was a pretty fun set, and it doesn't really have much of a way to boost his attack outside of using like Dynamax or a fighting type move, yeah? So I thought it'd be pretty cool. So now we've got the Politoed confused, which is always very good. And now I can go for the Psych Up and copy those attack boosts here, which is great. So everything's going to plan so far. Well, it's kinda. And now the Politoed is going to go for Encore, encoring me into my Psych Up. So like, no! Now, the only way to get around this, as you can see here, I can't use Last Resort, even though I've used all the moves. I've got to go for Dynamax, and that'll be able to get around me going for, my attacking move there, because I'm going to get stopped at the moment if I try and do that, thanks to the Encore. So Politoed's going to swap out. I guess they expected me to swap there due to the Politoed swapping out, and they thought, well, Blaziken's going to get a free swap in here, you know what I'm saying, and, we'll just, take the Persian out. But I decided, I was like, you know what, this will be an unexpected play. How about I go for Dynamax right now, and then go for the Max Strike? So that means I'm going to be able to hit that Blaziken with, a powerful move. It's only on 1 health anyway, but it's going to be good to get rid of, right? Because it's pretty scary. Now, I'm guessing it has a fighting type move to it. You know what? It had Flamethrower, so I'm guessing it probably had Focus Blast. Like, I reckon it had Focus Blast for sure. So that's going to be the end of Blaziken, which is very, very good. Now, this Pokemon's got a lot of speed too, and, I'm going to be outspeeding most things. Plus, I've got a +2 in attack, which is very nice. Next Pokemon is going to be Liepard. I've popped the Max Strike here. I've outsped Liepard, which is very good, and that's going to be easily enough to take it out in 1 shot. Liepard's not very bulky either. I thought they may go for some sort of prankster move, but I was like, well, I'm a dark type, so they won't be able to do any shenanigans like that. I guess they were hoping to outspeed me. Next Pokemon's going to be Politoed. I'm about sick of this Politoed's Encore, and that's his final Encore by Politoed. So I've taken out 3 Pokemon in Dynamax. you couldn't hope for better, right? When you take out 3 Pokemon and Dynamax, you've done a solid job there at using the game's mechanic, you know? You've done it to its fullest extent. So that's the end of my Dynamax. Now we've got this sleeping Haxorus. And I thought to myself, well, I can finally use Last Resort here, but I know they'll probably Dynamax the Haxorus to be able to live my attack. They don't know what sort of attack I've got at the moment. Obviously they know that I've got a normal move, but what one? Also now, by the time my Dynamax has worn off, that Encore from the Politoed earlier on is also worn off. So I'm going to be able to use, my attack there. So go for Last Resort here, and it hits very hard. That's excellent damage on Haxorus Dynamax. And Haxorus is going to be sleeping this turn. It's like, oh, this is awesome. So now I can go for yet another Last Resort. Haxorus is going to be fainting the next turn. However, it's now going to be eating a berry, and that's a Lychee Berry boosting his attack. And now it's going to be waking up. So I'm like, uh-oh, this is bad. Max Wormwind is going to drop my Persian in one shot there. It was pretty good, though. That was a solid performance there by Persian, really getting me back into the game. 3 minutes left there. We got Baloo here. I thought Baloo would be, staple on this team, so I thought I'd add him in as Urshifu, because I had one already good to go with the special set. So we got Snarl, Focus Mist, Swift, and Work Up. It really doesn't have the greatest special moves here in the world, I can tell you that. And now Haxorus is going to go for a Max Guard. It's like, okay, well, I don't have to risk, with the extra bulk on Haxorus. Not that it has a lot of bulk, so it's going to be down to who goes first here. I was timid nature as well, so I go for the Swift here. It's not often you see a Urshifu use Swift and take out a Haxorus on your PIMPNITE channel, people. And that is the end of the very first battle. And that was pretty cool. That was a pretty dang good comeback there by the Persian, and that basically Persian that carried it on its shoulders the whole way. Let's get on to battle number 2. This is against Champion. And we're going to see if we can get that Urshifu set a little bit more action there instead of just using Swift at the end. It was good though, don't get me wrong, I like using Swift. And I'll explain that Urshifu set a little bit more as the battle goes on. So now we're going to go for a Swagger here on the Raichu. Not going to write you a love song today, people. Maybe tomorrow. So I've swaggered the Raichu, which is always good. And you watch this, you wouldn't read about it, right? Now, the Raichu is going to go for a Nuzzle here, right? And Nuzzle is going to be actually powered up by Swagger, and it's going to paralyze my Persian. And I get paralyzed that turn. So, okay, that was kind of bad luck. Then Raichu hits itself in confusion and does a whopping, I'd say 50 to 5% of its health and way over there. And then, it went for another attack. It hit itself again and it took itself out. I didn't even need to use any attacking moves at all. That was awesome, but it was kind of unlucky, but lucky at the same time. You know what I mean? I just stood there paralyzed for the whole time. Paralyzed in absolute disbelief. Next Pokemon to come in is going to be Poliwrath. It's popped the Mind Reader, and I'm trying to read Poliwrath's mind at the moment. I'm thinking, well, this has got to be maybe Dynamic Punch, but it's a special set with Focus Mist, and that is going to be the end of Persian. So no cleanup sweep today from Persian. That paralyzed sort of messed it up too, but at least it took Raichu out. Well, Raichu took herself out, but it's a thought that counts. We're going to bring in Oranguru here, or King Louie, and what I could do here is I can get a free setup with my Trick Room or the Psychic Terrain, one or the other, right? Now, in comes Magneton here. I do have a move to actually use against that because I've got Focus Blast, right? So that'll be handy against any Steel types. I did think about that, when I was building this set. So go for Psychic Terrain now on the Magneton. So I've got Trick Room up and I've got the Psychic Terrain. So things are going very well at the moment. I haven't taken any damage. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to take some damage now. So Magneton is going to pop a Steel Beam, which does a lot of my health. That's 3/4 of Oranguru's health, and that's a lot because Oranguru is quite bulky, and I ran this one very tanky under Trick Room. So I got a bit of my health back there. We're back to half health, but I don't want to risk, I have to go for Focus Blast here. I can't go for Psychic Terrain, even though I think that it might still take it out because of Magneton's, kind of bad special defense, but I have to take that risk there, and that is the end of Magneton. I'd say it would have been going for a Steel Beam anyway, but no point, risking my, my Oranguru then. So next Pokemon is going to be my Lantern, not my Lantern, the opponent's Lantern. I actually wouldn't mind a Lantern on this team. Who would Lantern even be? The lights in the sky, the stars in the sky, could be like a little fish in the sky. I guess there has to be some time where one of the main character catches the fish, that could be the fish, but I don't know, there was a lot of characters in this game that I was thinking in game and anime series and movies you could actually use as well. It was difficult to get 6 of these onto one team. So Lantern's going to go for a Hydro Pump in the rain. I actually lived it really well. I was surprised. I was like, wow, this lantern must have very, very, like, huge amount of investment in bulk. I lived another discharge here, and I managed to get the trick room off again. I was like, wow, that was crazy. Like, this has no special attack investment at all. It's got pure bulk to it. As you can see. So we're going to go for a terrain pulse here. It is going to be, I think the psychic terrain's still up there. I mean, it didn't matter anyway. You know, Lantern's going to faint, but there you go, people. That's the end of the Lantern. So Oranguru is popping off right now. Next Pokemon to come in is going to be Tangela. Now, I decided to go for a terrain pulse here. Oh, this is just a normal terrain pulse, so you did like hardly any damage, but the psychic one would have done heaps. So here comes a Giga Drain from Tangela, and that is going to be the end of Oranguru. But man, what a good start to the battle there, especially with the Oranguru. It really put me in a good spot. Now, the next Pokemon I'm going to bring in is going to be Mowgli. I think it's Mowgli. That's how you say it. Like you mow the lawn with glee. So go for a fake out there on the Tangela. This is the time, people. This is the time I get some good damage on Tyrogue. This is the time. I missed again with high jump kick. You wouldn't read about it. So they went for the sleep powder, and I missed. I think they may have expected me to swap there, but you wouldn't believe it, right? Because it was a speed tie. I missed high jump kick, then lost the speed tie. I don't know, people. I don't know about this one. It's just like that. The main character has been destroyed twice in both battles. It's a good thing that I didn't write Jungle Book, you know? There wouldn't have been much for a story. So next Pokemon is going to be the Shere Khan, and we're going to go for the Intimidate, and we're going to go for a Fire-type move. Now, I had a little feeling that our friend Poliwrath would come back in, and I almost went for Focus Miss here, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for Blast Burn. It should do some pretty good damage here, even though it's going to resist it, and it did great damage. Right? That's excellent. Now Poliwrath is going to have to go for a Hydro Pump. So Hydro Pump comes straight out of its little, like the little circle thing on its tummy, like the little hypnotic part, and I lived. I was like, wow, that was actually a really, really good lift. Now I can see this has got the Life Orb here, and it's going to finish me off with the Ice Beam. I guess they didn't want to miss that last attack, so that's fair enough. So bye-bye Incineroar. You did some pretty good damage there. Now I've got 2 Pokemon left. We're going to go into Blue, which is the Urshifu. So Blue, as you know, is a special set. Let me tell you what the moveset is and the moveset and spread. So we've got a max speed and Timber Nature. I've got max special attack. I've got the item as Throat Spray, Snarl, Focus Blast, Swift, and Work Up. So at this stage, I was like, let's go for Snarl here, and I'm going to Snarl and boost my special attack. So it's going to be pretty powerful now with both those boosts going on there. This thing doesn't have the greatest special move pool in the world ever, so you're probably wondering why I'm running such bad moves on it. It's very, very barren that side, which was exciting, you know. I like those sort of movesets. So this time I was like, let's go for a Dynamax here. I want to Dynamax Urshifu and see how much it can actually do to Electabuzz. Now, we've got a Tangela left and a Electabuzz here. I was kind of curious, like, I believe that Electabuzz, it could possibly be their Dynamax Pokemon. I don't think they'll do it on Tangela, because I'm assuming they're probably running like like more of a bulky Everlight set there. And now we're going to have a double Dynamax. So it's Urshifu and Electabuzz at the same time. So I knew that straight away I wouldn't be able to one-shot it, but I knew that I'd be able to definitely, you know, two-shot, like, definitely, because I could also drop the, you know, the special defense too. So Dynamax, Electabuzz there, it's got to have a really cool cry, I forgot, like, I think you imagine it would. Anyway, go for the max darkness here on the Electivire. Sorry, the Electabuzz. And that does over half health, so I'm happy with that damage. Excellent damage. You couldn't hope for more there. So getting a special defense drop, which is great because I'm running a special set. Here comes Max Knuckle on Electabuzz. Electabuzz is pretty fast too, so they're a little bit unlucky that I was running quite a speedy Pokemon too, because I think they're running like a... I don't know what that was been coming off. Maybe I don't think that was the special set. That was definitely a physical set, so... Maybe that was like Power Up Punch or something like that. Like I'm trying to think of or Cross Chop. One of those moves, right? So going for the max darkness again on the Electivire Buzz. That'd be really cool if I got like another like split on the Vire and the Buzz. I know what you call it. I'm trying to think of something on the spot here. Electabuzz, Electivire, Electivolt? Maybe that's too generic. I don't know. But anyway, back to the battle here. Last Pokemon is going to be the Tangela, and Tangela is most definitely going to get outsped here. Will I be able to take it out in one shot? I believe I'm going to do some mega damage, but I'm not really sure. So go for Max Darkness on the Tangela. Tangela's got good defense, but its special defense isn't really all that good. And it's going to get one-shot. And that, my friends, is the second battle with the Jungle Book team. Hope you enjoy this one. And like the video, leave a comment because, you know, those bare necessities, people, you got to do them. They're the things in life, you know? All right, peace out, people. Had to throw that one in.